Okay, hey everyone. It is nice to see you virtually. I'm coming from you from the past to your future. Okay, I'm just gonna stop this. Hey, 3A, 3B, nice to see you guys. Um, yeah, that's a lie. I'm not seeing you. Anyways, nice to see you again. Okay. Let's talk about cover letters. I'm really stoked to be in this session with you talking about cover letters for your applications. I can imagine that many of you are quite nervous when it comes to, finding these internships, applying for these internships, and all of the steps that you need to take in order to secure one. Today we're going to be talking about the purpose of a cover letter because oftentimes you'll see applications on LinkedIn ask for a cover letter. So we're going to go into that a little bit. But before we do that, we have a couple of things to talk about. We need to think about basically what a cover letter is for. And we need to think about, when we're looking for our placement, we need to kind of keep this in mind that when you're preparing for jobs, treat it like a treat it like a Tinder conversation before you go for dinner and wine. In your experiences, I'm curious to know when you're dating somebody, what are the reasons why you or the other person stop texting you or you stop communications? So, I would love to hear your answers, but I cannot. So, maybe you're thinking like the person's too eager, they're just they're too weird, they are catfishing you. Well, guess what? All of that stuff, being too eager, too rude, arrogant, not confident, you just don't find each other attractive. All of that is the same in the professional working world. So, what you can do to already, I don't know, kind of match with a company that you're interested in is first understanding what you're good at. So, before you jump into this, many of you maybe have already started the placement search. Um, but before you do that, before for those of you who are about to start, before you do that, please, please, please take a second and understand what you're good at. Now, I think you've had a lot of opportunities to criticize. I think a lot of recommendations that you've done in this program comes from kind of like you first criticize and then make a recommendation. So sometimes it's hard for us to think about ourselves and think, okay, what are we good at? Like, sometimes that might feel a bit forced, or it might feel that it's not in line with humility and we want to be humble. Um, but I'm just going to dispel this right now. Many of you, all of you are awesome, are really good at something. So now's the time to kind of start thinking, what are you good at? So, what I would like for you to do as you're watching this is to just yeah. Take a small piece of paper. Actually, we can go digital. Get your phone, open up the notes app, and just start to think about what are you good at. So what projects have you done here at the Hochschule? Like, yeah, what projects have you done? And if you think about it, you guys have done a fucking lot of projects. You've done a lot of projects. Now, some might come to mind, like you did the design thinking project, you've done practical research skills project, you've done projects for your minors. Think about those. Now, when you think about that, think about what you're good at. Now, I know some of you are really good at Microsoft Excel because I saw your practical research skills 2 portfolios. So this is something, some of you are really good at analysis or at organizing data in Microsoft Excel. You can also think about not the projects, but just assignments in general. What assignments from this program were you particularly proud of? Did you have a media production assignment that you were so proud of? You got a great grade. Um, yeah, maybe this exists. And the reason why it's nice to think about these projects is that for those who are maybe don't have the confidence yet, think about what grades and what courses you really excelled at, because that will kind of help lead you into thinking about the skills and talents that you're proficient in. Also, too, it's interesting for you to think about outside of school. What do you like to do? Some are part of clubs. Vanessa, you are a part of like a writing collective. Aga, you are amazing at organizing virtual, uh, open days. Not open days. You know what I mean? Like a virtual events. Aga, thank you. Vanessa, you too. Shout out. So think about that. Think about the things that you're good at for that. Um, uh, we won't take 5 minutes, but yeah, I encourage you definitely when you're taking a shower, just to kind of think about, okay, what am I good at? And once you kind of think about that, then you can really think about and parcel what were you good at. Um, yeah, what skills does those link to? So you can start to think about the particular courses. So when we think about design thinking, for example, you had the ANVR sustainable travel. So a lot of skills involved in that is, of course, design thinking, creative thinking. You know, you had a lot of research skills, focus group skills, qualitative analysis. You use Atlas TI, target audience analysis, creative concept development, social media strategy, blah 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 blah. In your second year, you had public communication. You had some more, concrete skills. Now, it's important to, to kind of write these down, because you'll notice that a lot of the profiles that you'll come across on LinkedIn will have some of these specific skills, and then you'll kind of start to understand, okay, yeah, this is a match. You know what I mean? You can swipe right. Good. Okay, so that's no big task, right? Just what are you good at, right? For me myself, I think that I'm good at content creation and um, quantitative analysis. So Microsoft Excel, that's my jam. Now, the important part comes. So you might be good at stuff, but what do you actually like? Because if you are really good at Microsoft Excel, but you hate it, you're probably not going to enjoy a internship that uses Microsoft Excel for 8 hours a day. So what do you like? And, this also extends to your extracurricular time. Like, are you a micro influencer? Like, do you like creating content? Like, what do you like to do? These are, of course, good things to think about. Now, when you kind of have this clear mind, then I would recommend going to LinkedIn. Because, for example, I see these posts. These are scraped from just half an hour ago. So, yeah, September 9th, this is scraped from. Um, so I see here a social media, like, yeah, I like social media, but do I speak Dutch? No. And I hate sports, so I ain't doing this. Nope. Video production intern. Yeah, this could be interesting. Cool. You work with influencers, sports stars, lame. Yeah, creative video editing. I like this. I might easy apply. There's been 0 applicants. Cool. As I kind of further refine my search into the keywords that I've written down in the previous exercise, I can see some more things pop up. Content marketing, cool. Fluent in English. I'm fluent in English. Researching content pieces, yes. Writing, editing, yes. Proofreading, hey, proofreading. This is why we do the peer review, guys. Yeah, cool. WordPress, yep. Social media tools, yep. Google AdWords, I do not have this experience, so I could just take a quick Coursera course or something. Easy peasy. I do like change management, so there's a change internship. That's also cool. 1 applicant, damn. And yeah, humanitarian research. I hate people. I'm quite. Is it a misandrist? Anyways, so I probably would not be applying to the United Nations Development Program. Um, yeah, give me um, no people and no humanitarianism. No, I need to eat. It's late. So the whole reason why we do this also too, because a part of the application process that does ask for cover letters, well, it reveals a little bit about yourself. So, for those of you who are unaware of what a cover letter is usually a supplementary document, 1 page to 2 page max, that goes with your resume. And this is like the bio. So think about, if we're thinking about Tinder, your CV are the pictures, and your cover letter is the bio. So this is where you provide context for your experiences, context for your personality, your motivation as to why you're wanting to apply this. And let me tell you, recruiters, they can smell a rat 100 miles away. So if you're really not genuine, your application will not even be processed. Um, and, now with larger companies that are doing a lot of this automated, the cover letter is kind of an important tool that will, when the race is finally down to like two people, this is when they'll look at the cover letters. So for larger companies, the cover letter is kind of more like the final race, whereas for uh, some smaller companies that have less applicants, they're usually using this as kind of the first screening. So now, getting back to our Tinder analogy, sometimes being overconfident or having too high of self-image, not understanding the organization's actual values or the tasks, this will just get you in trouble later on. We've had students before that have really overestimated themselves. This is a critical thinking skill. Maybe you remember, but this is a barrier to critical thinking. Anyways, um, when we are a bit too overconfident and we have wishful thinking, we have an internship and then we're fired. And this has happened to a few ICM students where they've overrated their abilities and the internship provider has been like, nope, sorry, you're useless. And so the student has to do the internship again in a later semester. So this is why, understanding your abilities and skills is important because once you get to the final position, yada, yada. So for example, I would never apply to this ever in my life. Must speak Spanish at a near native level. Yeah. P.S. For those native speaking Spanish people, put this in if you want to be a content marketing intern at Virtugem. God, sports. Um, because, yeah, honestly, if I were to apply for this job, this would be the outcome. This would be me speaking
Hola.
Spanish.
Recuerden que si van a tener un paseo campestre.
Yeah. So, moving on. Once you've understood what you're good at, what you like, and kind of have this check to be okay, do I meet the requirements for this position? Awesome. Then you apply and it will ask potentially for a cover letter. And this is again where you write your cover letter. So this overlaps your skills, experience, and your enthusiasm for the role in a concise manner. So you're probably asking, okay, yeah, but what are the criteria? You can, of course, always Google this, but if you don't want to. The basics are the header with your name and details. So you put, your name, date, location, potentially a permit or like, that you're eligible to work in the Netherlands. The person receiving the application. This is also actually important. So I talked to an HR, somebody that was the lead for HR at Accenture in Calgary. And she was saying that she tosses away, or, when she was in a hiring role, she used to toss away resumes that would just say, you know, to whom, to whom it may concern. Never write to whom it may concern. Like, my tip is that always just, put the recruiter's name. And if not, you can always just reference the application number. Um, yeah, you can, but just like the standard cover letter writing says if you don't know after, then you can put to whom it may concern. But I would just say in this age, look for the recruiter. If you can't find it on LinkedIn, go to the company's website. It just demonstrates that you've actually done the homework. I can smell dinner. So then, keep in mind cover letter, 2 pages max. The first paragraph, you introduce yourself briefly, the job position that you're applying to, how you discovered the position. This is just something nice for the recruiters to know. The second paragraph, you demonstrate that you understand the company or that you've researched it. You discuss the values, how they align with one another. So, for example, you love the diversity initiatives at Adidas. You talk about that, how it aligns with you. This requires you to read some of their blogs and some of their social media. So before, you're writing Patagonia and you're saying like, I love capitalism, don't read a blog or two and see how they're really like stewards of environmental protection. And then, yeah. So search out their blog, search out their social media. Um, yeah. Here's an example of something that you could write for Nike. The third paragraph in your cover letter is where you outline your prior experience and skills that you've gained at schools and or in extracurricular positions. So academically, I've completed classes in design thinking, digital communication, blah, 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 blah. In these classes, we learned how to profile target audience needs, blah, 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 blah. So this is where you kind of put in these specific skills. Now, I'll get to it later, but one of the things that you definitely want to do to get a cut above the rest is to put in the key search terms here. So in the, or not search terms, but in the application in LinkedIn, let's say they'll have these kind of specific keywords like social media content creation or um, I don't know, budget making through or Adobe Audition, let's say. Scrape these key kind of words in the profile and put them in here. And the reason why is because if HR processes are like these automated AI robot checkers, then you pass that screening test. The fourth paragraph you end on with your confidence and enthusiasm, so they know that you're assertive and cool. Furthermore, with a mind of diversity and inclusion, I trust that this will intrinsically motivate me to excel. Whatever. I actually do mean it, right? But right now it's like, yeah, whatever. The last thing, sign that. Mm-mm. Thank you for taking the time to read my application. Always be gracious. Put your signature there and then your name. If you don't know how to put a signature in a document, you can Google that. You can always go to your Android or iPhone, screenshot a white screen, and use the editing tool just to sign your signature. Then just email that, insert it as a photo in your document. Um, yeah, so it looks like that. Cool. Party. So some last tips. I mentioned that I was in contact with lead HR from Accenture. This is who I was in contact with. She's pretty cool. So I talked to her specifically about this and if she had any tips or tricks for you guys entering the work field. So what she said is just that this HR managers, like they're kind of trained in BS detection because it's part of their job and they receive a lot of these applications. They can just smell bullcrap a mile away. So just as you are able to BS, HR managers can detect it. So this is why for your cover letter and your CV, be as authentic as possible. And that also that starts with knowing what you're good at and what you like. Prioritize talking about skills rather than experience. So rather than being like, yeah, like in my experience as a video content creator, I had it once where one day, blah, 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 save that crap for the interview. Talk about the skills. So, as a video content creator, I used Adobe Premiere Pro. I also used um, iMovie, blah, 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 blah. So, those keywords, use that. Um, the more objective and the more quantifiable, the better. So, for example, Aga, you organized yeah, like this kickoff for the first year. So I would say, I organized, you know, 3 remote kickoffs for the year consisting of 78 students each. Da, 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 da. So, going back to critical thinking, be precise. Use these numbers. Another thing that she really wanted to hone in is that she sees on a lot of resumes and cover letters still multitasking. And a lot of people put multitasking as a skill, and it's not. What signals to HR managers when they say that multitasking is a skill is that basically they don't know, candidates don't know how to focus on one thing at a time. So please don't put multitasking as a skill. It's not a skill anymore. Um, and again, put those keywords from the application, like on LinkedIn, from the application online into your application. So if they use specific words for video content creation, put that in, etc., etc. Cool. So our last tip, I want you to guess what it is. What do you think her last tip is? And the whole thesis argument of this conversation is, that's right, be yourself. Just like dating, be yourself. Because how the hell are you going to love anybody else if you can't be yourself? Can I get an amen? Amen. So this is me being myself, my true self. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for having me. Yeah, speak to you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your class. Have a great and fabulous day. Talk later. Okay, doei. Bye.